So this competition was a little frustrating, but there are some good things that came out of it. Starting off with the Viking press, I wasn't sure how this event was going to go because in training, I had loaded up 180 pounds and it felt pretty heavy. I think the most I could get was either 8 or 9 reps. I can't remember, but I really wasn't sure how I was going to compare to other people. As the event started, pretty much everyone was getting like 20 or more reps, usually like up into the 30s. I think some people even got into the 40s. So I was afraid because I'd been loading up 180 at home that I was going to look stupid. I was only going to get like 8, 9, maybe 10 reps. Meanwhile, everyone's, touching 30. And I was the last one to go in my weight class. There was one guy that did 35 and one guy that did 34. When I went up, I managed to get 32, which I feel like is pretty good. I got third in my weight class. It just did not feel like 180 pounds at all. So that was kind of cool. I'm glad that I didn't look completely stupid on the Viking press. It is one of my favorite events, but just the weight that I was training with at home felt so much heavier than that Arsenal machine. That Arsenal machine is super nice. Like, some of the smoothest pressing I've ever had.
20 seconds really matter because every single time you take a rest, that's another rep your competitors get in. Halfway for Austin, let's go. He's got a good rhythm going. Keep it up. Looks good. Let's go, Austin. Keep going. Also looks like 15 seconds. 15 seconds for Austin. Come on, this is where it counts. Let's go. Crank him out. Come on, lock it out. 4, 3, 2. Yeah, that's it. Good job, Austin.
That leads us into my first little bit of frustration. That was with the truck pull. I think it was like a week out. We got an email from the competition director basically saying that they were having issues with the truck pull event. They weren't exactly sure how they were going to run it because there was a slight grade in the road. It was like a 2.5% grade. So we were basically going uphill and it made the truck pull a lot harder. A couple days out from competition, they decided they're going to use like a 12,000 pound dump truck. It's either 12 or 15,000 pound dump truck. I'm not exactly sure how much. And instead of going for a distance, initially, I think it was supposed to be like 40 feet or something like that. And you had 60 seconds to complete it. It was just going to be for time. Furthest distance in 30 seconds, that would be your winner. It was really frustrating because I saw the 181s and 198s go before me and no one moved the truck. So it's irritating being like, yeah, this is just going to be basically a waste of energy. There's no way I'm going to be able to move it. So I go, I gave it my all. It didn't matter. It didn't move. Only one person in my weight class got to move it, and they moved it an inch. In total, the furthest pull was 1 foot, 8 inches. And the next closest pull was 6 inches. Everyone else was like, if they moved it, it was like 3 inches or 1 inch. In my opinion, it's super frustrating going into an event. It's not fun to watch, first of all, and it's not fun to go into an event knowing that you're gonna zero. I really would have liked if they had just taken it out. All the other strongman competitions I've done have been 4 events. This one was 5. Wouldn't have been mad if they got rid of the truck pull, especially because, going up a hill is hard, apparently. That leads us into the third event, which should have been yoke, but they had more issues. They didn't bring enough plates for the yoke because they were going to run 2 lanes for yoke. So someone had to go get more plates. So they decided to move us to what should have been the fourth event, and that was the hammer hold. For the men, it was a 35-pound door ram that the police use for raids and whatnot. I looked up the door ram, just like a Google image search, and I saw that it had handles. So I thought, oh, maybe they'll let us hold it with the handles. Turns out that they made us hold it by the fat part, and I just did not have the grip strength for that. I did not train that at all. It is what it is. I need to work on my grip. I wouldn't say my weakest. Whenever I did Hercules hold last Christmas, I actually did pretty good for my weight class. But like, I don't have big hands, and that door ram is like a thick chunk of metal. So I think I would have done better if they let us hold it from the handles. But they didn't. It is what it is. Not that big of a deal. I got like 2 seconds. It was bad. As soon as I picked it up, it just slipped out of my hands. Now we go into the yoke. This was another frustrating thing because leading up to the competition, they said it was going to be 40 feet. So that's all I trained for. I just trained 40 feet. It's about the length of my backyard. 550 pounds in training felt heavy. I'd only touched yoke, I think, 5 times total before going into this competition, and one of those was in competition last year. And every time I touch 550, I get wobbly hips. I just kind of equated that to 1, being in my backyard, and 2, just not being super familiar. And also, like, I never just jumped straight to 550. I would go like, 400, 450, 500, and end up at 550. So a lot of like, fatigue doing those runs. One thing that was a little weird with this competition is I didn't warm up at all, like for anything. I did a little bit the deadlift, which I'll get to, but I had my wife and kids at the competition with me, and I really just like, I put my kid on my shoulders and did some squats. I pressed him a couple times before the Viking press. It's weird. Like, I didn't warm up at all, and I felt perfectly fine. Anyway, the thing that was frustrating about the yoke is they told us it was 40 feet. Once again, because of the slope in the road, they decided, well, it wouldn't be fair for some people to be going uphill, some people to be going downhill, which to me makes sense. I was kind of curious how they were going to do the whole yoke situation to begin with. I didn't know if they were going to drag the yokes back to the start line. I was hoping that that's what they were going to do. But right before yoke started, they told us, hey, we're actually changing it. We're not going to run 2 lanes. We're going to run 1 lane. So they didn't really even need to get the extra weights and push the event back, which is whatever. But they're just going to run 1 lane. And instead of it being 40 foot, it's going to be 80 foot. We have to go down and back. So great. Now I've got to put 550 on my back twice, which a little frustrating finding that out right before the event started, but everyone has to deal with that too. I'm sure most other people were probably also just training 40 foot. You can kind of tell the people that were, because they'd usually have drops on the, the second leg of it. I was one of those people. I felt like my first 40 feet were really good, and then I hesitated a little bit on the transition because I was tired. 550 is a lot of weight on my back, and I didn't practice going 80 feet. So transition was slow. I got about halfway, maybe a little bit further on the second leg, and I just got like tripped up. My right leg kind of got under me a little weird. Dropped it, but I was able to pick it up and finish it. And I think I got 3rd in that event too. I was behind second place by less than a second, which is kind of frustrating because if I didn't have that drop, I probably would have got 2nd in that event. Now, that leads us to the coolest event. With the deadlift, they made some really cool silver dollar attachments, and it pulled super smooth. Going into the event, I didn't know if we were going to be able to warm up. I didn't think going straight for 500 pounds was going to be a good idea. So I did 135 for 3. I did 225 for 3. And then I found out that they were actually letting us do a warm up on the actual implement, which was good because I could see how much the weight actually felt like. And I think it was somewhere around 365. Went up, pulled it super smooth. So then after that 365, I was like, okay, I'm going to open up at 500, go to 550, and my goal is going to be 600. They did a rising bar setup. They started at 250 pounds, so I was waiting quite a while. After that warm up, when they finally called 500, I went up there and it was super smooth, super fast. I pulled a couple weeks ago, I want to say like 405, 515, and then I missed 625 in training. And the 515 did not feel nearly as smooth as the 500. Like this 500 just flew up. So I went to a guy that at the time he wasn't my coach. I rehired him after this, but he used to be my coach for a couple competitions I did last year. But I had to let him go just because I was dealing with some stuff. I went up to him and I was like, yeah, man, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do after that. Like 500 felt really light, but I don't know if 600 is going to be too heavy. And he basically said, yeah, I think 600 goes. I think you just skip 550 and just jump straight up to 600. So I did that, and 600 was heavy, but I got it. It wasn't like so heavy that I didn't feel like I could get anything more. It was only my 2nd attempt, and we got 3 attempts, so I knew I was going to do something. They were making 25-pound jumps, so it's not like I could have done like 610 or something. The 600, like, it went up smooth. It felt heavy for sure. I wasn't sure if I could get 625. I knew that I wasn't probably going to be able to get 650, so they gave us some smelling salts whenever we checked into the competition. And I was like, I'm just going to rip these and see if I can pull it. So I took one little sniff, and it was way too early. I couldn't walk up to the bar just yet. I was a little anxious. So I took a sniff, and it pretty much just hit my right nostril, which if you've done smelling salts, when it hits just one nostril, it kind of sucks. So then I go try to take another whiff when I'm actually like walking up, and just completely missed. Like I didn't get any ammonia on that one. So then I take a bigger one thinking like, oh, this stuff just isn't that strong. And I got the worst puff of smelling salts I've ever got. Completely cleared out the left side of my nostril and immediately started tearing up in my left eye. But I was able to get that 625 off the ground. It definitely amped me up. Those smelling salts, not the most consistent thing, but it was pretty good when it worked.
It's right there.
So he knows that it's going.
Oh, he did it.
I got that 625 off the ground. I was really happy with that. That's a big PR. Like I said, a couple of weeks ago, I hit 405, 515, and then missed 625. So to hit it in competition was pretty cool. At the end of all of it, I finished in 5th out of 5, which I'm not happy with. Most of that is because I did really bad on the hammer hold. I think if I didn't get last place there, I would have been up a couple more spots. I was really aiming for podium. They didn't do awards at this competition, but I was really aiming for podium because I wanted to get that Nationals invite. I've got a couple more chances this year, so I think I'll get one, hopefully here in September. If not, maybe December. I still haven't decided if I'm doing that competition yet or not. But I got 5th out of 5. But all in all, like, even though it was frustrating, it was still a fun competition. It was still good. I am not sure if I'll do it next year. I will say if they have truck pull, I'm probably not doing it. I do not like that event. I've got that event in September that I'm not looking forward to. And if they have the hammer hold, I'm definitely not doing it. I need like bigger hands. I need to get hand transplant or something. Now I just got to train for September. I already started. It is almost 6:30 this morning. I already got my workout in. I'm still really tired. Anyway, that's it for this one.